Hey, welcome everyone. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com, and this is going to be your Let's Get Ready for the week ahead, June 24th through June 28th. On this video, we talk about some of the things that moved the market in the week prior. We'll be looking ahead to see what things we have to look out for coming up for this week ahead. We'll go through some of the markets, some of the sectors, and what's moving the markets around. So let's go ahead and get into it. And by the way, there'll be another video out later on stocks that I'll be watching for Monday and some stocks I'll be watching for the week ahead. All right, so this is the Let's Get Ready for the week ahead. So markets had a very good week. Friday was quad witching. Also, there was a rebalance on Friday in the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq. We also had the SPY paid out a dividend, so it went ex-dividend on Friday for the SPY. So keep that in mind if I show you the SPY chart. It wasn't as bad as it seemed. They paid out a dividend of $1.43. So basically, the SPY was only down 33 cents. For the markets themselves, the Dow Jones was minus 34. The transports were minus 60. The S&P 500 minus 4, and the Nasdaq down 20 points on Friday. Let's go ahead and look at our heat map from FinViz. And as you can see, kind of a mixed market, a little bit of profit taking going on, a little bit of buyers exhaustion on the digestion day on Friday, consolidation day. ExxonMobil was up about 1.5% on the day. Amgen got a little bit of buying here. Some of the bigger biotechs, Guild got some buying. BIIB was up almost 2% on the day. Google climbing 1%. Facebook up almost 1%. WFC, Wells Fargo, popping 2.25% on that name. Amazon giving a little bit back. Apple also giving a little bit back. So as you can see, a mixed bag on Friday. Some of your top gainers, losers for Friday. You had AXGT was one of your big winners. ASPU, Overstock, a big move up. MBIO, VSTM, PT, EPZM, Crocs also moving up. Some of your top losers: AVGR, YUMA, CGC after their earnings came out. That stock moving down for Friday. SUNW, GOS, Beyond Meat pausing here down on Friday. Chewy, a recent IPO, that was also down, and ALNA, this courtesy of the trade exchange. Also note that Bitcoin is making a weekend move. We were above 11,000 only yesterday on Bitcoin, but pushing up here over the weekend on Bitcoin. Let's go ahead and look at some of the bigger sectors that were moving up this week. Gold had a very good week. JNUG popping 28% for the week. The OIH coming back nicely, up almost 10% for the week. Oil having a good week, up 9% for the week. And that was due to the Iran and U.S. Tensions. Trump said that he changed his mind only about 10 minutes before he was going to allow a strategic bombing in Iran. So tensions increased, pushing oil higher between Iran and the United States. We also had the IBB climbing this week, up 6%. We did get some mergers in the biotech sector, so that was moving that up. KWeb, the internet, China internet stocks are climbing for the week, up 5%. Bots, the artificial intelligence ETF, that was up about 5% for the week. SMH clawing its way back, up over 4%. Good to see that. Gold had GLD had a 4% move this week. Robo, ROBO, automation index, that was climbing for the week, up 4%. To the downside this week, Nat Gas continues to grind lower here. UNG down almost 9% on the week. The rare earths dropped 1% for the week. The regional banks were down a little under 1% for the week, and that's some of your top sectors. In the S&P performance for the top sectors here, the XBI for the week was jumping 7%. Once again, you had the some mergers in the biotech space, so the XBI climbing here. The XOP also the oil exploration. This was up 7% for the week. The XME up 5%. XLE energy sector was up 4% for the week. To the downside, you had the airlines down a little bit this week, down about 1.5%. The XHB, the home builders, taking a little bit of a pause this week, down a little under 1%. XLP, consumer staples, down fractionally for the week. All right, so let's go ahead and look at some of the charts for the week. We'll start out with the SPY. Now, once again, the SPY was ex-dividend on Friday, so let's go ahead and look at the SPX instead. As you can see, it's not as bad as the actual SPY because of that dividend. We are holding above all-time highs here. If we go ahead and look at that on the weekly chart for the S&P 500, you can see we had a recent high here, and we are above that and holding above it so far on the S&P 500. The one thing that is concerning, and I'm just not gonna go through a lot of the markets because a lot of them are at highs and holding up very well. But the IWM is a little bit of a concern. Friday we got a pullback in the IWM. We are still holding above the major moving averages here, the 200, the 100, and pulling back to about the 50 SMA here on the IWM. So this is a little bit troublesome for Friday, this pullback, a little bit of lagging still going on here in the IWM. Also, the IWC, the micro caps, remain below the 50 SMA, remain below a declining, sloping down 200 SMA on the IWC. The IBB, a nice move up for the week and holding above the 200 SMA there on the IBB. The XBI also holding above the 200 SMA, holding above some of the faster moving averages here. So those two are holding in place. The SMH, nice comeback here, but on the daily chart, we're still battling this 50 SMA area. 50 SMA on the SPY SMH right now is around, I will call it 109. So an area to watch, getting rejected again here by the 50 SMA on the daily chart. Note that my daily charts are in black, all right, with white and red candles. And if I go to a weekly chart, that'll be a blue background with green candles. So if you see me flipping around between the charts, you'll know what they are. The SMH on the weekly chart still remains below the 10 SMA. 10 SMA currently on the weekly chart is at 107.85 on the weekly chart for the SMH. So what was moving the markets around this week? We did get the FOMC in the week that passed. Fed basically to the rescue here. Fed holds rates steady, but opens the door for a rate cut in the future. This is what was talked about, possible rate cuts. So that moved the markets up. Fed moving out of the way. So that happened last week, and then Jerome Powell did his presser, and he was saying all the right things on the Q&A that was on at 2:30 on Wednesday, and kept the markets moving up. Another thing that was moving the markets around, and the oil sector, oil prices surge after Iran allegedly shoots down U.S. drone, so that got tensions moving up between Iran and the United States, and Trump was very close to declaring a strategic bombing on Iran, but in the last 10 minutes he decided not to. Another thing that was moving markets around, and maybe even the cryptos themselves, the cryptocurrencies. Facebook discussed the launch of its cryptocurrency Libra with the Fed, Jerome Powell. So Facebook was moving up all last week. Sotheby's, BID symbol there, going private in a deal, valuing the auction house at $2.66 billion. We had IPOs coming out. Slack started trading, worked WORK is the symbol there, and Slack shares moved up from their pricing up over 48%. So Slack had a good debut. So that was some of the things moving the markets around last week. IPOs are doing very well. A lot of IPOs coming out for the week ahead here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the economic information that we need to watch for the week ahead, this courtesy of the trade exchange. So basically, as far as economic information, it's pretty straightforward with a sprinkling of Fed speak this week. We do get into the G20. We'll get more into that in a moment, but pretty straightforward as far as the economic information coming out for the week ahead. This once again courtesy of the trade exchange. We do have some things on the horizon that we'll have to pay attention to. The G20, all right, meeting will be occurring towards the end of the week. A two-day summit gets underway on Friday this week coming up. Negotiations between Washington and Beijing. They had broke down in early May after Trump accused China of retreating from previous commitments. So the two will be meeting in Japan, Trump and Xi. In China, so that's hopefully something the market is hoping that will get resolved and talks will resume again. We also get the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, will be speaking on Tuesday, so that at the Foreign Relations in New York on Tuesday. So Jerome Powell will be speaking. Let's see if there's anything else. And this once is courtesy of investing.com. Here's a little bit more on the G20. There's a 50-50 chance of a trade deal at the G20, says former U.S. ambassador. So a lot of this will be closely watched, and once again, that'll be happening into Friday and over the weekend. As far as some of the earnings coming out for the week ahead, this courtesy of Earnings Whisper, we get a home builder on Tuesday before the bell, LEN, Lennar. We also get Micron Technology, symbol MU there. FedEx reporting after the bell on Tuesday, so a couple of big names there. FedEx will be important. Micron for the semi space. BlackBerry reports before the bell on Wednesday. General Mills, GIS will be reporting. KBH, another home builder, will be reporting after the bell on Wednesday. And then we also get WBA, Walgreens Boots Alliance will be reporting on Thursday before the open. We get Conagra, McCormick will be reporting. Nike after the bell on Thursday. NKE symbol there. We get Constellation Brands, STZ, and Jinko Solar, JKS, reporting before the bell on Friday. Once again, this earnings courtesy of Earnings Whisper. So some important earnings coming up for the week ahead. Not a lot of earnings, but FedEx, Micron, very important. A couple of these home builders will be reporting, and Nike with all the China talk going on and whatnot. I'm sure the conference call there will be quite interesting. NKE symbol there. Courtesy of Benzinga here, the week ahead in biotech conferences, PDUFA dates. I will put this link down in the comments section of this video. So we get a lot of IPOs coming out in the biotech space. So you got some PDUFA dates that'll be going on. So I will put this link down in the comments sector. I will also put the link for the calendar from the trade exchange, economic information. That'll be linked in the comments sector down below. But here's some IPOs that will be coming out. So for the week ahead, you get tech and big biotech fill up a 9 IPO week. So 9 IPOs will be coming out this week. So IPOs just keep rolling along here. Here's a IPO from Renaissance Capital. I'll also put this link in the comments section of this video down below. All right, and then some recent IPOs that we had come out: AKRO, BCEL, Go, PSNL, PRVL, and Slack, WRK, STOK. Those were a few of the recent IPOs for the week that passed. Let's go ahead and get into some of your best stocks for the week that passed. We'll start out with this crazy one, Kern. This thing moved up 158% for the week. KERN, a big move up there on that name. ARRY, we talked about how we had some biotech takeovers. This one was taken over by Pfizer, acquired them on ARRY. So that stock jumping up 56%, but it got a lot of the biotechs moving. ARQL, one of the better smaller names this week, up 28% for the week. EPZM also climbing this week, up 29% there on that name. Weekly looks very good on this EPZM. MLNT, which we traded over at ZoZoStockWatch this week, gave us some nice moves up. This stock up 198% for the week on MLNT. AQB also popping this week, up 48% for the week. MLNT, by the way, this stock was up on FDA accepted their new drug application for MLNT. ABUS was another name that got clearance on to initiate phase 1 on ABUS. This stock jumping 51% for the week. As we mentioned, bid is going private. It moved up 66%. KMAX had earnings on Friday. This stock jumping for the week only about 3%, but making new all-time highs here on CarMax. Continues to move up. Very strong name there. AMAG, this stock had news come out Friday after the bell, and this stock jumping. Now, on the weekly chart, it's not showing you much here, but in the after hours, AMAG popping up quite a bit. So it makes our best stocks for the week because of that Friday news. Also, PTN climbing in sympathy to AMAG. So this is one of your better stocks, probably moving up on Friday after the bell and that news coming out. So closely to be watched next week on PTN. Some other names that were moving up for the week. By the way, on AMAG and PTN, FDA has approved for AMAG, and also PTN was moving up on that AMAG, FDA giving approval for those names. As far as some other stocks that were moving up for the week, GTHX, sorry, this stock moving up 50% on the week here. Tilray had a very good week, nice bounce back in this name, up 29%. We had GBT also climbing this week, up 17%. SE, very strong move for the week, up 15% on SE. INCY having a good week in the biotech space, up 14% on this name. QURE, looking for strategic alternatives on this name, pushing another biotech, pushing up 13%. STLD in the steel space, a little bit of bounces here in the steel names. STLD, they do rolled steel, up 10%. US Steel up about 6.5% for the week. So a little bit of a comeback here in some of the steel names. PCG moving up this week, up 24% for the week. Vuzi had a very good week, up 34% for the week. CIFS climbing this week, up 77% on this name, on the China name. MGI Ripple making an investment in MGI, pushing this one up 68% for the week on that name. We had a CVM climbing this week up 38%. IGC also moving up in the cannabis space, up 29% on this one. SPWR over in the solar space had a big move up. Goldman Sachs giving an upgrade to this name, pushing it up 25.5% for the week. Overstock getting a nice move on Friday, up 22%. ROAN, Roan climbing 44% for the week. One of those small little oil stocks. Look at that big expanding volume coming into ROAN. Over in the IPO sector, TUFN in the IPO sector up 30% for the week. ARDS, another recent IPO, this was climbing 58% for the week. TIGR, China IPO up 25% for the week. TWST over there in the diagnostics healthcare sector, this stock jumping 22% for the week on this IPO. JFIN, not a lot of volume in this stock, but climbing this week up 11%. Another recent IPO moving up 11% for the week. And that's some of your best stocks for the week. Some of your worst stocks for the week that passed. We'll start out here with BHVN. This stock dropping 35% for the week on this name. They did an offering, so that stock moving down. CCL, Carnival Cruise Lines here, Carnival Corporation, after their earnings came out. This stock dropping 12%. RCL dropped in sympathy, down about 7.5% to that name. KR, Kroger's came out with earnings, down 8% for the week. On this name, VBIV, this stock dropped 47% for the week on VBIV. Phase 3 did not meet secondary endpoints on this name. The CEO did come out and make an insider purchase around 62, 64 cents, was 1 million shares. So that bounced it back a little bit, but for the week it was down 47%. Cala started off the week very well, jumping, but then gave it back after they decided to do an offering on CALA. Stock dropping 28% for the week. RMTI, also an offering here. The stock dropping 28% for the week. PZZA, this stock dropping 13% for the week. CTRV, they recently did a 1 for 70 reverse split, down 42% for the week on this name. AMPE dropping down, down 39% for the week. PRPO dropping this week, down 26% for the week. JAGX also recently did a 1 for 70 reverse split, down 24% for the week. PYX over in the cannabis space, down 18% for the week. CGC, which had earnings this week, not down for the week too much, but was down all day on Friday on CGC after their earnings had slowed down. So CGC taking a hit this week, only 2.5%. We'll have to see how that one does next week. Some of the IPOs that took a little bit of a hit, GNLN over in the cannabis space, down 26% on this name. CHWY, recent IPO, was down 8% for the week. RVLV also down this week, down about 8% for the week, a recent IPO. And that's some of your worst stocks for the week. All right, folks, so that's going to be your Let's Get Ready for the Week Ahead video. We'll be out later with another video, stocks to watch for Monday and some to watch for the week ahead. I hope this video has helped you out. If it has, please hit the like button down below. If you're new to the channel, support the channel, subscribe to the channel. We have other videos that we do each and every night during the week, stocks to watch. So the main things now to watch for the week ahead, the G20, you have Jerome Powell speaking happening. We'll see how the tensions between Trump and Iran continue on. Will that continue to push oil up? We'll have to watch that IWM, the action that was going on there. A little bit soft there on Friday in the IWM. We did get some good earnings out this week. CarMax was very strong. We'll be watching the SMH to see if they can move that further, if they can push through on the SMH. So those are some of the things you need to watch, and everybody will be looking towards the end of the week and the talks between China and the U.S. Are they going to resume on a good note? And then Trump and Xi to meet over the weekend coming up. And then, of course, we're going into the following week where you're going into the 4th of July week. And so the markets and the time of year may be a little bit slower. We'll have to see. And reminder, I'll be putting some of those links down in the comments section for you of this video. If I forget, just hit me up on my Twitter, ZoZoStockWatch, and I'll get those links to you. But I'll put them down in the comments section of this video. All right, everybody, have a good week ahead. This is Mike from ZoZoStockWatch.com. I hope you're more ready for the week ahead than you were before, and we're back at it with another video in a little bit, Stocks to Watch.